Yo, what up guys, Brick5D here, and this is the champion guide, a detailed champion guide for Vogoth. In this video, I'm going to be showing you an early game build for Vogoth where you can use him in the early dungeons or even in Clan Boss. And I'll also show you my end game Vogoth where I use him in Doom Tower hard high stages. Alright, let's get right into the video. Every team in Raid, talking about dungeon teams or Doom Tower waves especially, need a tank, somebody to take all the damage that the enemies are bringing forward. If you do not need a tank like this, you probably have somebody to control the waves, so either they don't take a turn or they don't hit you so hard. All right, that's where Vogoth comes in. He's a meaty design, as you can see from the undead hordes, a Spirit Affinity epic champion, and his design is awesome. It's not a unique design because there is a champion already in the game who looks exactly like this. Maybe the color is just different, but he's a pile of undead hordes, I guess. That's a cool design though. But we are here to talk about his skill first of all. His best known skill in the game, the best one you use the most in every area, is the A1. Yes, I know he has two passive right there, but the most used skill in battle is the A1. And I'll tell you why. He attacks one enemy 3 times. That's not all. Each hit has a 30% chance of increasing the duration of one random debuff on the target. That means if the target has decreased defense for 2 turns, if Vogoth hits them with this A1 3 times, he hits one, he has 30% chance of increasing it to 3 turn decreased defense. He hits them again, he has another chance of increasing it to 4 turn decreased defense. He hits them again, another 30% chance of. So there's a chance that he will make that decreased defense that is supposed to land for 2 turns become a 4 turn, 5 turn decreased defense on the enemies when he hits them like that. All right, we already have a champion like what's his name now? I forget his name. Who can hit? Let me just show you right now. Vizier, who does this on the A1. He does that on a 35% chance also. They're all on low chance, but his can be booked up to 40, 50% chance of doing that increase debuff on the enemies. But Vogoth does this on a very lower chance of 30%. Also can be booked up to 40%, so it's not as high as Vizier's, but it works just fine. Because if you agree with me that when you place the debuff on them, if you can increase it, you don't need to place the debuff again. Yes, that's the whole point, to place debuffs on your enemies and increase the duration of those debuffs. All right, that's the A1, an awesome one. 3-hitter A1 is also awesome for the Fire Knight. As always, we'll always remind you that people who have 3 hitters on their A1 is the ones you want to take into the Fire Knight to take down the shield fast. Alright, on the A1, on the A2, he has an AoE skill which attacks all enemies. It's awesome when we already have this skill that attacks all enemies. We don't like single target hits in Raid, but we like this one that attacks everybody a lot. So when we see skills like this, attacks all enemies, it's always a good news. What does this skill do? He has a 60% chance of placing Provoke. Provoke is one of the best ways to control your enemies. It can only be second to stun because Provoke, they can still hit you, but stun, they will not move. So Provoke is an awesome way to provoke to control your enemies, and it attacks all of them, but it's only a 1-turn Provoke. Unlike other champions in the game like Molly, who can place a Provoke for maybe 2 turns based on some conditions that can be met, I guess, RNG and all that. So but he places the Provoke for only 1 turn. Why? Because he's an epic champion. They don't want to make it like a legendary Provoke for 2 turns. All right, he has a 60% chance of placing 50% decrease attack. A 60% chance of placing 50% decrease attack is a low chance, but it can be booked up to 65%, 75% chance of placing that decrease attack. So this is not a reliable decrease attack, but it will land. It has a condition though, for 2 turns on targets who receive Provoke. So only targets who receive the Provoke will get this decrease attack. Yes, so I know the Provoke is going to be placing on everybody. There is no condition to be provoked. Places the Provoke, 60% chance of placing Provoke debuff on all enemies. Oh, that's also a 60% chance. So Vogoth is kind of a 75% chance champion. I read that wrong. He's a 75% chance champion, so he cannot increase his chances except by 5% masteries, of course, to place something at 100%. So Vogoth is not a champion that will provoke the entire enemy waves with this skill. I have to stress that. All right, on the A3, whenever this it's not an A3. I mean, it's a passive. I'm always used to having an A3 right there. So that's a passive right there. Whenever this champion is attacked, heals all allies by 50% of the damage received. So whenever you hit Vogoth, 50% of the damage he receives will be used to heal all allies. Now, only heals by 25% of the damage received from bosses. So bosses will be reduced. This champion only receives half of the heal, so he's not going to be healing as much as everybody else that he's healing, because he's the healer himself. So this is what Vogoth is best known for. This A1 paired with this passive is just an awesome mix of endless healing for your entire team, because you want him tanking, especially when he can provoke and they hit him. All right, on the the second passive right there, it's kind of rare for you to see a champion that has two passive, but hey, Vogoth has it. When attacked, places a leech debuff on the attacker for 2 turns. So Vogoth is also known for placing leech. Leech is not a very valuable debuff in the end game, but in the mid-early game, you don't have good healers and all that, and the clan boss, this is a good way of placing leech on the clan boss. So because leech will make you require less in terms of healing in battle. As your allies hit an enemy with leech, they will be healing from the leech also. If the attacker is under provoke, debuff placed by this champion also has a 70% chance of increasing the cooldown of a random skill on the attacker by 2 turns, occurs once per turn. Now, I wouldn't rely heavily on this passive. This other second passive is not that useful compared to this other first passive. The first passive is what you want to build Vogoth for. Now, all this stuff we are reading out, you can tell that Vogoth is placing leech, he's placing provoke, he's placing decrease attack, he's doing a lot of stuff, right? He requires accuracy to do all that. I'll tell you right now, Vogoth requires accuracy to do all this awesome stuff that you're seeing him. But guess what? This other passive, the heal, does not require accuracy. Whenever they hit him, whether he has accuracy or not, he will heal the other allies by 50% of the damage received. Less from bosses also. So I wanted to point that out, that for you to place leech and provoke, you need accuracy. For you to even do this, increase the duration of their debuff, you need accuracy on this champion. But for you to do this healing of your allies, you do not need accuracy. So that's why we say there are 2 ways you can build Vogoth, and we're going to show that. In the aura right here, he's done an accuracy in all battles by 40. You can put him in the leader slot if you do not have enough accuracy in your battles, at least in the early game. All right, I'll show you a simple trick of where you should put Vogoth to, not just in the leader slot. In my first build that I'm showing you, this is supposed to be the beginner build, the early game build that you build for Vogoth. I highly recommend that you best artifact for Vogoth in the early game. I'm talking about those who are trying to beat Dragon 20 yet. If you're just getting to Dragon 20 or your way there, 15, 13 and all that, you just pull the Vogoth. Put this champion in Lifesteal. If you're early game, you're still in brutal clan boss, nightmare clan boss, doing one key brutal and another, put Vogoth in Lifesteal, because in the early game, that's the best set for this champion in the early game. Why am I putting him in Lifesteal? Is because you don't have any better alternative heals in terms of, you don't have unkillable teams and all that. You want him to keep your entire team alive, and he needs to keep himself alive. That's what Lifesteal does for Vogoth. It keeps him alive. There is no other set that can keep Vogoth alive as much as Lifesteal does, because of that triple hit A1 he does, and Giant Slayer hits that we're going to be checking out in his Masteries. So that's how I would recommend Vogoth in the early game. Now I'm going to be moving over to the end game build, but which other artifacts can you use in Vogoth in the early game if you do not have Lifesteal? Well, you can say, of course, what about Immortal? It's fine, but Immortal is not an early game set. When you begin to get good Immortal sets is from Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare, right? So if you're an Ultra Nightmare already, you probably don't need Vogoth. You probably have an unkillable team with all these block damage champions falling from the skies this day in raid. So, but if you're using Vogoth in Ultra Nightmare, then maybe you don't need him in Lifesteal by then, because there are other leech, and leech can keep your team alive by Ultra Nightmare because of the amount of damage you'll be doing from crit damage and crit rate and all that. So would I recommend any other sets beside Lifesteal? Immortal is good. These other sets that gives him health whenever he takes a turn is also good, but I'm saving that for the late game build when I'll show you that one. All right, so for the early game, again, Lifesteal Vogoth. Let's talk about early game masteries also. Let me switch over to the early game masteries right now. Okay, this is the early game masteries right now for Vogoth. So if you're going to be using Vogoth for the clan boss, this is the build for you. For the clan boss dragon, this is the build for you. Why am I putting him in this set is because he'll be doing a little bit of damage. I'm talking about Giant Slayer that has a 30% chance of inflicting a bonus damage from the triple hits that he's doing. Yes, he's not just there to be a tank and a, you know, meat shield and healing everybody. He's also there for damage. Vogoth puts in the work if you do have Giant Slayer from him, especially in counter attack mastery also. So if you also have the counter attack accessories, put it on him. He'll be doing multiple A1s and you'll love this champion, putting himself always in full health while healing the other allies. He is always the last to go down in battles like that. So that's the build for early game clan boss, brutal, nightmare, even ultra nightmare. If you don't have unkillable teams, this is the build you want with Giant Slayer mastery right there, because he hits triple A1 hits. All right, now let's switch over to my Vogoth build for the end game. And you might be asking, why didn't I switch this to Lifesteal before doing the video? Is because this Vogoth is built for the late game. I didn't want to show you my two Vogoth. One, I didn't want to rebuild it. Basically, I only built my two Vogoths for the end game because this is the champion you need two of. Yes, you need two of this champion for the end game. Now in the early game, you do not need two Vogoths. One is sufficient. But in the end game, when you're beginning to beat Doom Tower hard content, where I'm going to be showing you battles like that in this video, you need two Vogoths, and I'll show you what they do in the battle. All right, let's switch over to the end game build for Vogoth, and I'll show you. It's the same build. It's the same build that you're looking at right now. But I'll show you the masteries for the end game build. But I didn't want to show you the stats first of all in the first early game build. So right now, the amount of HP you need on Vogoth, or what you need on him, since he's a mid shield and is provoking and is going to be healing a lot of people, you need HP in this champion. His damage is based on HP, yes, but we are not building Vogoth for damage. I'll tell you right now, my Vogoths, none of them are built for damage. I talked about the only way he does damage is from Giant Slayer hits on the offense tree. But this Vogoth is built as a mid shield, as somebody who just is there to maybe place the provoke sometimes in dungeon content, and then has enough speed to take a turn or two, yes. But check out the HP right there, 100k HP. If you can get to 50k, it's fine for the early game. But for the end game, you're talking about 65, 70. Get as close as possible to this 100. That will keep your Vogoth alive. So what did I have to do to get this amount of HP? Is because of this Immortal set. Remember, two Immortal sets adds what? 15% HP to your champion and heals by 3% every turn. So Immortal set is the best way for you to get closer to this 100k. Don't be using speed sets and lifesteal sets and think you get to 100k. It's quite difficult to do that. But Immortal just makes it extremely easy to get closer to this 100k mark. Of course, I have HP substat in this artifact. You can see most of them has HP substat right there, 17% HP. This has 19% HP. So a lot of my artifacts do have HP substat. This one does not. And check out the boots. I do have speed here with also HP substat right there. So I have HP everywhere. Even this one, glove, ring, HP, amulet, HP, banner, HP. Now, why did I put banner HP? Is because I do have 2 pieces of accuracy right there. Why do I need 2 pieces of accuracy? Is because I wanted to use this Vogoth to at least land some provoke sometimes in dungeon 20 or dungeon 20 content. So I'm going to be showcasing this Vogoth with accuracy, but like I said, his accuracy is for provoke and other stuff. You don't really need accuracy. For my second build for the Vogoth, let me first of all show you the mastery for this first build. That's the mastery right there. Well, the meaty end game build I made for Vogoth is this one. Went towards this support tree to get more HP, get more healing, and basically healing stuff, and reduce. I wanted to go defense instead. You can go defense instead of selecting this, you can also go defense. So I just unselected all my masteries, but you get what I'm saying. I went this way because I wanted to select this one too, right there, and this bulwark. So this bulwark is the final one because it decreases the damage all allies receive by 5%. He takes that damage instead. So if you want to resist Vogoth, go ahead and do that, but I didn't want to rely on resist on this champion. Anyways, that's the final one for this meaty tanky Vogoth, the end game build. This is what I'm going to be using on him, but I've not done my mastery yet. That's why I'm showing you the masteries over here. All right, let's take this Vogoth into battle. But before we do, have I shown you my total stats for the second Vogoth? Yes, I do have 2 Vogoths. Let me show you the second Vogoth because that's the one I'm really proud of, because I went all round Immortal on this one. All round Immortal. Check out his accuracy. Nothing. So I didn't want accuracy on this Vogoth. Do I have accuracy banner right there? I doubt I do though. HP. So everything on this Vogoth is also HP with good HP substats. Everywhere HP. Check out his boots. HP boots. So that's how much tanky I wanted this Vogoth to be. But if I put HP boots on this champion, it means his total stats in speed will be slow. So if you do not want a slow Vogoth, make sure you don't build him with HP. I mean HP boots, but if you want a fast Vogoth, like the other Vogoth had a speed boots, but this slow Vogoth had a HP boots. So 2 of them in battle, you can't take down my team because they are always healing. All right, accuracy 166. Like I said, this Vogoth is not built for accuracy, and so should you have accuracy on your Vogoths if you want them to be useful in the dungeons in terms of provoke, fine, but that's not all what they are known for. I've shown you my total stats right now. I've shown you my masteries. I've shown you my build. Let's head over to some practical use for Vogoths where you can use them in battle. The best place that I can think of is Fire Knights and Dragon and Ice Golem. Those are the 3 dungeons that you can comfortably use a Vogoth. I've seen him being used in Spider, but this is not his best place. Spider tanks, Vogoth is good for it, but remember his provoke does not land on all the spider links. For a spider tank, we need somebody can put it on all of them so they can only attack that person. I'm thinking of Drexter. Drexter's provoke is also not like 100% on everybody, but hey, he's a better tank for spider than Vogoth. So remember that. So I'll quickly do a test for the dragon and show you a dragon 20 content to see how you might want to use a Vogoth in your teams. I was running this team for undead, and a Vogoth is right there as an undead. Do I have to change it? Anyways, let me quickly change it, and Vogoth provoke. That's why he's not landing it. He's negative affinity in dungeon 20, in dragon 20 I mean, but he still managed to land 3 provokes right there, as you can see it. So even with negative affinity, hey, you might get lucky and still land it. So it's awesome that he's negative affinity, because right now I think this, even without being provoked, these champions will hit him. Yes, you can bring in a negative affinity to a battle like this. That means without provoke, he'll still be the target. I'm waiting for it to be hit. Let's see how much heal he does to my allies when he's hit. Come on, Vogoth, take a hit. That's it. 6k, 6k. That's it again. 2k. So he's doing a lot of hit, of 50% of the damage he received. Remember, so it's not just the random numbers going up there. It's 50% of what he's been hit. So when somebody heal for 6k, that means he received what? 12k damage, right? So all right, I've shown my Vogoth how he's healing my entire team. Even if he needs heals right now, so you might want to run him with somebody else, or if you have him in lifesteal in the early game. That's what he does for you in general dungeon content. Bring him in there, become your tanky champion. Now you can see me in this dungeon run, I didn't really put my Vogoth in any particular slot, right? I put him in the last slot. It's on purpose. Vogoth is not a champion you can just put here or put here. No. If you put your Vogoth in the last slot right there, the damage will feed in, especially if it's an AoE damage that is done to your entire enemies. They will take the amount of damage first, and then he heals them back up. So if you put him in the first slot, your enemies are already full HP. He gets hit, he heals them back up. then they take the damage. I don't know if you're understanding the explanation of why he needs to be in the last slot instead of the first slot. He gets hit for 12k damage, right? He heals them by 6k damage because he got the first hit. And then they take a damage for another 6k. He did not do anything because he's healed them when they were already full HP. So you want them to do the heal when they've taken the damage, and then he comes at the back. He's the last to take the damage and he heals them. I hope that one is really, really clear. All right, that's my showcase for Vogoth in the dungeons. Vogoth is not a campaign champion. Vogoth is not a champion you see often in I wanted to say faction war, but no, he's an awesome champion from the undead faction wars. He's an awesome one right there. Now you see a lot of tanky teams for the arena where you see Vogoth being used as their tank. So if you run a team like, let me show you, it's an example of a tanky team that you can run Vogoth with. A team like this. So if you do not have an Osoga or Collar or whatever, you can put Vogoth right there as a tank to soak in that damage, because that's why my Osoga is there, to soak that damage that my allies are taking. So if Vogoth can do that job for a perfect team, like a go second team for you. If you have to bring them in there, it's awesome. Now the last place that I want to show you or showcase my Vogoth for, it's not Clan Boss. Clan Boss will take so much time. There are dedicated videos out there about Vogoth in Clan Boss, but I don't think it's necessary to be shown. You put him in Lifesteal, run him there. The best place for Vogoth that I built him for, these two Vogoths I built, was for Boomer. This is hard Doom Tower. Doom Tower content is extremely difficult. End game content. That is where I used these two Vogoths for. Now I don't want to make a 30 minutes video. There's a video already, or it's this way, already out there that I put out for this Vogoth build. So check it out. Two of them I'm talking about in battle, showing you them running through the what's his name, Dreadhorn boss, and using his bombs against him. To make this video a little bit shorter one, I'll have to go over to normal Doom Tower to show you that run in action. Even head over to a lower stage so you see it happen and not bringing too much damage, so you can actually see the bombs go off and see what happens when Vogoth is in the team and the bombs go off. He just heals my allies by a huge amount of healing. I got hits. You see the healing that went off, a lot of healing. I'm not placing the HP bond yet because I don't want to kill them so fast. I want these bombs to go off, and I want to show you what Vogoth does when he gets hit with bombs. And I'm not putting my HP shield or Brogni shield right now because I actually want to take the damage. You have to use your A1 in these battles because you don't want him doing his provoke. His provoke is not useful in this battle. So come on, come on, come on, Vogoth. Hit me. That's it. I'm waiting for the another bomb to go off. Hit me. That's it. And I'm waiting for the last bomb to go off. Hit me. So he's taking the damage. You can see him going low, but check out everybody else. They are max HP because he's taking that 50% HP back at them and they are healing back up. So that's my Vogoth for the Doom Tower. Like I said, I do have the Doom Tower hard content, but this is just an example to show you how it happens in the Boomer boss. All right, that's this video about Vogoth Undead Hordes Epic Champion. It's a detailed guide, I guess, showing you an early game build where you can use him in the Clan Boss as a tank and somebody who can increase those debuffs on the Clan Boss. You need accuracy on such a build, like I see me using 2 perception sets right there to make it happen. And that type of Vogoth also is perfect for dungeon 20 and below content. Now when you're talking about dungeon 24, 25, I really don't see a lot of Vogoths out there because people are running speed teams. But if you're still early to those dungeon 24, 25 content, hey, bring in a Vogoth right there, especially in Fire Knight, where it can help you take down that shield fast and keep your team alive when the boss is hitting you and stuff. So that's my Vogoth. I did not build mine in high accuracy, but if you need to do it, I built these 2 Vogoths you can see for Doom Tower extremely hard content. So let me know what you think about this video in the comments. How did you build your Vogoths, and what do you think about this champion? Has it helped you in your early game, or are you still using him in the end game right now in raid? I'll see you guys in the next Raid Shadow Legends video. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Comment below which guide or which champion you want me to talk about next and show you a guide on. Good night, guys.